Hey everyone, Christopher Ludwig here at the start of Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Global. We're here in Detroit with Dr. Jacob Ward from the US Department of Energy in a brand new role, and I'm really excited to share a bit more about this. Jacob, you've just started in the role in the new Office of Manufacturing Energy Supply Chains. Can you tell us a little bit about what has been created here and what the objectives are?
Absolutely, Chris. Thank you. So earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Energy underwent a reorganization to ensure we have the structure needed to manage the investment in the clean energy transition. So the Office of the Undersecretary for Science and Innovation will continue American leadership in research and development of clean energy technologies. The new Office of the Undersecretary for Innovation will manage demonstration and deployment of clean energy technologies. And within that new Office of the Undersecretary, the Office of Manufacturing and Energy Supply Chains will help support safe and secure, resilient energy supply chains for America's clean energy future.
All really important words for our audience here in the automotive supply chain. And amongst the many focuses that you have, I know building up the battery supply chain is obviously a critical part of that, and minerals, processing, and the energy using from sourcing through recycling. Why is that now a topic for the Department of Energy?
Absolutely. So transportation is the sector that is the largest source of greenhouse emissions in the greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. Batteries unlock transportation electrification, which is arguably the most promising pathway to decarbonization. Batteries in particular unlock a future that is not only low carbon, but also can use domestic resources. So by focusing on batteries, our investments are unlocking a battery supply chain that is American-led and American-made.
Absolutely. So, and amongst the legislation we've had, of course, was the Inflation Reduction Act, just recently passed. And that focuses on credits and funding for the battery supply chain as well. But we know there's also gaps if we look at what can be done in the US and North America right now. How will the DOE expect to work with industry to address those gaps?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Inflation Reduction Act wasn't passed in a vacuum. It can work, I think, effectively with the bipartisan infrastructure law to address those gaps. So getting us to a near-term future where the domestic battery supply chain, again, is American-made and American-led. So the bipartisan infrastructure law invests $7 billion in domestic battery supply chains, from sustainable sourcing to end-of-life battery collection and recycling. The Inflation Reduction Act supplements that with $2 billion in domestic manufacturing conversion grants for American facilities to make electric and other low-carbon vehicles, $3 billion in loans through the Advanced Technology Manufacturing Loan Program and DOE's Loan Programs Office, as well as other tax credits, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. So obviously a large share of our audience here for automotive logistics in the freight and logistics sector. We know that electrification is a step, but not a short-term one for that group. Alternative fuels, other kinds of technology will play a role too. How do you see the opportunity for the DOE to work with freight and logistics?
That's a great question. And so there is an opportunity to decarbonize transportation, moving people and goods broadly. So electrification is certainly promising for light vehicles, as well as port equipment, for example, drayage trucks, maybe off and non-road vehicles, as well as transit and school buses. In addition, we can consider other potential low-carbon energy sources like hydrogen for line haul trucks and other long haul freight equipment, and biofuels, bioenergy technologies present opportunities for sustainable aviation fuels, for example. So it's an all of the above approach to ensure we decarbonize the whole sector.
You've mentioned some of the key legislations from the bipartisan CHIPS, IRA. What's the advice? How can our audience engage more with you and your department? This is the opportunity now. How do they do it? Where do they start?
Absolutely, yes. Please work with us. You are the sector of our economy that kept the rest of the economy moving, literally. Thank you. Let's do more together. My information will be shared in the main session. Keep your eye out, grants.gov, for our competitive opportunities, competitive solicitations. We would love to hear from you.
This is super exciting. So we're going to be going onto stage now, and soon that session will be available more widely as well. But keep following us here at Automotive Logistics. We'll have more of the highlights from Jacob Ward and the rest of the conference. Can't wait to share more of that with you soon. Thanks very much. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Thank you, Chris.
Cheers.